right by his ass. Scare him to death. The effort was outstanding. How about those Raiders, man? If you're late for work, if you're out of shape, you're not knowing what to do, you're gonna never, ever be able to live with yourself. So you guys got a chance to do some good things.
The Raiders have won the AFC West.
Those fans at Oakland, they're unlike any others. And I get emotional thinking about it.
Raider Nation, what is going on? I'm Hardcore Raider. I hope you guys brought your barbecue chicken because we grilling tonight, man. How you guys doing, dude? Ooh.
Not bad, man. Feeling really good after this win. Looking forward to moving on to the Rams. Going to go ahead and whoop both LA teams' asses this year. And we're going to tell you exactly how we're going to do it.
Hey, you know what's up on a Wednesday night, man? We're feeling it, dude. Thursday night football right around the corner, dude. I'm still macking on leftover chicken from Sunday, dude. We do it slow. We do it slow and low, dude. I'm the slow cooker, man. So shout out to Keenan Allen, dude. That tasted good. And barbecue chicken, yes, it is my favorite because you can switch up the flavors, man. You can switch up the flavors, baby. So let's get it. Let's get it on this Wednesday night, man.
Hell yeah, man. It was a little bit late, so apologize. And I actually had the wrong time frame on there. I was doing 6:30 Pacific time, and it's an hour difference for me, but apologize for that. But hey, man, we're always trying to bring you guys some good intro videos, and that shit takes a long time, but I was pretty pumped to make those, man. Got some barbecue chicken up in there, man, and some lightning. Oh man, that was lit. Gets me pumped, man. Hope you guys are ready, man. I did some old school, some LA Raiders, because you know who owns motherfucking LA. It's the Raiders, you know what I'm saying? So straight up, let's give a shout out to the chat real quick. AG Raider, what's up, dog? Southside Raider. Who else we got up in here? Robert Pina, Billy 916. What's up? What's up? Fairhand. Let's see who else we got in here. Robert Pina. All right, I think that's everybody. So
Billy J916.
Al's Ghost in here. What's up, Al's Ghost?
Al's Ghost.
Hell yeah.
And quite a few of our brothers and sisters in here, man. Hey, thank y'all for showing up to another Hardcore Raider Nation podcast. We are your lovely panel right here. Myself, the Raider Critique. We got Grimy Raider Dave. Of course, our brother right here in arms. And then, of course, Hardcore Raider, my brother that I deal with outside of YouTube. And I deal with both of y'all outside of YouTube. I think I spend more time talking to you guys than I do fucking working. So, you know. Hey, so how's everybody feeling about that Charger game, man? How does it feel to know that Khalil Mack did not wreck the game on us like, you know, we thought that he possibly could have done? last
Man.
week, feels really good. I mean, Keenan Allen running his mouth and whatnot, but just being able to shut down Khalil Mack really felt satisfying.
Oh man, just an overall, I mean, to get another AFC West win, dude. I mean, we're 3-2 now in the West. We were very competitive against the Chargers in that first game, very competitive against the Chiefs in the second game, man. So I'm feeling good, dude, in December right now, man. I'm feeling good, especially this Rams game tomorrow. We got, I mean, it could, you don't want that to set up as a trap game. It's a short week. So we want to catch them Rams, and keep them, keep them down, man. Cause that team is reeling. I think they're like 29th now in the league. That's their overall ranking in the league. So compared to winning the Super Bowl to basically becoming a bottom dweller in the league, man. So we got to take advantage of that. Take advantage of home field advantage, man, tomorrow night, man. And so, man, it feels good in December right now because this team does have a legitimate chance going forward, dude. And there's some winnable games on the schedule, and the schedule does favor us, man. So I'm loving it, man. And just like I said, literally had some of that leftover chicken today, man. So still tasting Sunday's victory.
Yeah, dude, that video I made cracks me up. I'm sorry, man. Dude.
No, it did. I loved it.
Shout out to Keenan Allen, man. Hey,
yeah.
I did that shit where John Gruden was like, those fans in Oakland are like something else. And that was the picture where Keenan Allen's wearing the Raider hat. I don't know if you guys caught that, but like,
oh yeah.
Hey, shout out to, can we go to That Way Podcast though on there real quick? He thinks we need drug tests if we think the Raiders are going to the playoffs. But you know what? Hey, man, the math kind of lines up with that one. I'm not sure if That Way is a Raider fan or not, but
we're gonna get into all that. So
yeah, but
miracles happen, bro.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's mathematically possible. It's not like I'm throwing something out there that isn't possible. I mean, there's 5 games left on the season, man. They're on a 3-game winning streak.
We did the last show for a reason where we were talking about the Raiders and the playoff chances, and we were I think most of us were pretty fair on our picks for the
damn spot on too.
Yeah, and so we're gonna go over that. We'll talk a little bit about the Chargers, and we'll kind of revisit our playoff kind of predictions and see how we did last week, and then we'll jump into this Rams game. So I want to like hit a couple I think good takes or whatever as far as this last game went. Kind of touch on some positive things, you guys saw from the Charger game, and then some, maybe if there was something that you weren't too impressed with or something that kind of bugged you about the game or an area of improvement. So we'll start with Raider Dave. What do you think of the Chargers game, brother?
Well, man, like as far as starting it out with Derek Carr, man, you know what I mean? I like the fact that they are letting Derek Carr throw the football, man. That's what I'm loving. Yeah. And they're letting him do the risky throws as well, man. So I like what I'm seeing developing as the season goes on. I mean, this team looks like a good football team right now. You take away those leads we had, those 3 games where we had 17 points or more in a lead in the first half. I mean, if you factor those in as wins, I mean, this is a different outlook for a season period. So it's frustrating to look back, but at the same time, looking forward, I mean, the Raiders have a 1,000-yard receiver. They have a 1,000-yard rusher. Derek Carr is throwing the football well. I mean, he does have some nice stats. So I like the way they're letting Derek Carr kind of control the tempo, even if the defense gets theirs. You see the pick, early on, and all that. So things that weren't going well for him early on, they're able to pick that up because the adjustments. And like we had talked about when we were chatting amongst ourselves, something you pointed out, Hardcore, is the fact that you see McDaniels and Derek Carr going over their play calls, and they're going over what they see on the field and what the Chargers are presenting. So yeah, man, I'm loving, I mean, everything from Sunday's game was just excellent, man. You got Chandler Jones coming up big in this game. Isaiah Palameo, the rookie, the undrafted rookie, getting a sack on a blitz, man. I love that play. There's just so much unfolding as this season progresses, man. But that was a big win, man. To get the win at home, man, too, for the home crowd, that was a big one, man. That was a big one. And to be 3-2 in the AFC West is a big move going forward, man, for this team. And like I said, we're in the month of December, man, and they look like they're ready to play football. And that's what I like.
Hell yeah. Raider Critique, what do you think of that Chargers game?
Well, honestly, man, if I could say that I took anything positive from it, I mean, besides the obvious, the Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs connection, having having that 2-headed monster is just a blessing all on its own. These guys are pretty much carrying the team. And Derek Carr is actually going out there. I mean, talking about stats, he's got 2,900 and what is that, 80 or 2,930 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Now, providing that some of those interceptions have been pick sixes, you know what I mean? I like to see him get it out of the way first to where he calms down and plays better as the game progresses, which is exactly what he did against the Chargers this last week. But the happiest thing about the whole thing from last game was the way the defense played, the way the secondary stepped up when Keenan Allen went over there and started flapping his gums. Nate Hobbs coming back. I think that was the Trayvon Moehrig actually getting in on some plays, getting some pass deflections, reacting on the ball like what we saw during his rookie season. I think that was the most surprising, the most pleasant surprise of Sunday's game.
And, jump off that too with Derek Carr's touchdowns. I think 11 of his touchdowns are 25 yards or more, which is first in the NFL. So I think like Jalen Hurts has 9 and Joe Burrow 9. So, I mean, Derek Carr, man, is really creeping up there in the stat category, man, in certain stats. As for just this season alone, and then you have the comeback victories. Of course, Derek gets credit for those, but at the same time, man, that was a huge display on Sunday. And I agree, Nate Hobbs, man, he basically closed out the game for the defense with a great coverage down the sideline. Another guy, Jerry Tillery, dude. Jerry Tillery, I thought early on he got good pressure on Herbert. They were kind of throwing Herbert around, which was nice to see. Herbert, you can tell Herbert felt the pressure from that defense, man. So,
Well, like the great Al Davis once said, the quarterback must go down and must go down hard. And the first was like 10 plays of the game or something. So, I felt like, we were definitely putting pressure on him. I thought it was pretty funny that Nate Hobbs, got the fumble recovery after, all that smack talking from the barbecue chicken jackass himself. I was impressed, Devontae Adams had 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs had 144 yards. Just all around, just a freaking amazing game. Right now, Josh Jacobs leads the NFL in rushing at 1,303 yards. And I put some of this stuff in my intro. Josh Jacobs right now for like top 15 NFL players is ranked number 9th. And it's funny because some of these guys for like fantasy had Josh Jacobs ranked 20th running back so at the beginning of the season, like last August, they had Jacobs at like number 20, and he's fucking top dog in the NFL right now. I know there's some jackass choker fans out there saying Jacobs ain't the best running back in the NFL. You better recognize, man, ain't nobody had a season like this besides freaking Marcus Allen. So like,
can I thank the haters though on that one?
He's creeping up on 5th of all time leading rushers for the Raiders franchise.
Yeah.
He's only
and how many games we got left?
And dude, and he's creeping more with those categories with OJ Simpson, Jim Brown, as far as his first, as far as his rushing yardage just for this season, compiled through 12 games. But one other thing I just got to, since we're talking haters hardcore, I just had to give a shout out to everybody, dude, in all of my fantasy leagues for letting Josh Jacobs slip to me in the 3rd round of all 3 of my fantasy leagues, because he is killing it. And he has won me a couple fantasy leagues. He's got, like, I might be playing for a bye week in my fantasy league. So shout out to everybody, man, that hated on Jacobs, man. Anybody that hated on that kid, dude.
Cheers
and
to you.
How could you hate on Josh Jacobs? He's a great kid. But we got to give a shout out to Datway podcast in there, dude. He's throwing some crazy curveballs, dude. He's saying Nate Hobbs got cooked a lot. No, he didn't. Corners get cooked in this league, bro. Anyway,
and I don't know what game he's watching. I don't know what game you're watching, because Keenan Allen was up against Amik Robertson. It wasn't even Nate Hobbs. So, fool, you smoking crack, man. Lay
and
off
Asante
that shit.
Samuel is the guy who got cooked. If you want to see somebody get cooked, watch Devontae Adams shake Asante Samuels out of his seats. And not only that, but Nate Hobbs played an excellent game. And I'm sorry, we're gonna disagree wholeheartedly on that one, dude.
Yeah, and
but it's all good. Go ahead.
Do I need to play the intro video again? You guys barbecue chicken? Because I'll light this fucker up, man. You know what I'm saying, dude? I got that shit for days, man. Lightning striking, dude. You know what I mean? So, and that lightning was just cooking our barbecue chicken. That's all that lightning was doing. It was just making our chicken ready to eat after the game. So that's all I gotta say. But hey, give a shout out to Herman Munster. Who else? I think there's someone else that joined the chat recently. Oh, Dirty Low, what up, brother? So
Almost. Almost only counts.
And
Almost
Keenan
doesn't
Allen,
really count, bro.
yeah, and Keenan Allen was basically in a garbage. They were in an urgency mode where they had to throw
He
football too.
almost got 100
Man, some
yards
some
against
of
the
these
guy who
chokers,
hasn't played in 8 weeks.
some of these chokers are trying to say some of these chokers trying to say Keenan Allen's a better wide receiver than Devontae Adams, dude. Like, seriously, got to lay down that pipe, man. That shit go into your head or something, dude. So, hey, Devontae Adams right now, though, check this out. He's got 1,176 yards, 12 TDs, and he's ranked 5th of wide receivers. And then, Max Crosby, he's ranked, I think, number 4th at 10.5 sacks. So, I mean, there's a lot of stats, dude. Like, all these fools, like, talking trash and shit.
Dude, I got one for Devontae Adams. I think he has like 113 targets with 3 drops or somewhere in that category.
Yeah,
so,
dude. Like, if this team continues to build and grow and we can keep our foot on the gas and not let up, I mean, the possibilities of what we could do, like, people look at our record 5-7. Well, we've also, let some games slip towards the end that could have been winnable games. So I'm not going to revisit all that shit, but, all in all, I think it was a good game. I mean, as far as Derek Carr, someone said something about, the interception. Here's the thing, dude. If you want the big plays, you got to be able to take the good with the bad. That's how I look at it. And I'm a very critical on Derek Carr. I thought he's been playing very well these last 3 games, I'll say, at least the last 3 games. Even if he's not getting the most yards and shit, I don't care about that. I care about wins. You know what I mean? I care about him making the right decision. Now, if he's throwing an interception and he crumbles and he's not, like, throwing good passes after that, that's different. But we haven't seen that. We haven't seen Carr. He threw 2 interceptions in the Seattle game. He threw 1 interception this game, but he turned it around. He didn't let it bring him down, and he, like, just triumphed through it, like, mentally. And that's the kind of Derek Carr that we need, especially if we want to win games. So, the way I look at it is like, hey, you're going to throw an interception here and there, trying to make some big plays. I'll take it so long as we go down and we score touchdowns, not field goals, touchdowns. And I feel like we're seeing that. We're seeing this offense finally, like, clicking together, and from the defense, and shout out from the offensive line, defensive line, I think are both doing pretty damn awesome. To Chandler Jones, as much shit, and rightfully so, we've given Chandler Jones. He really stepped up. Big day for him. So, a lot of respect to this team and the fight that they have and the grit they have. So, with that being said, anything else you guys want to visit on before we get in?
Right straight off of that, when it comes to Derek Carr, is that one thing I have been happy seeing out of him this year is that he's not coughing up the ball. He's not fumbling like he has been in the past, which means he's not. He might throw a few picks here and there, but he's got 8 picks on the season, and we're going into week 14.
Right, but not just that. Here's another,
and he ain't lost very many fumbles.
Right.
So and he's been learning from his mistakes, which is something that most quarterbacks, I mean, once you've been in the league for so long, you get pig-headed, you get set in your ways. You're just going to go with that. And for him to actually be moldable up underneath this system with Josh McDaniels shows that he can learn. You know what I mean? And yes, he's not a top 5 quarterback. Hell, he might not even be a top 10 quarterback, but he is a serviceable enough quarterback to win us enough games to propel us into the playoffs. There's one thing you can't teach. It's heart.
Yep.
Yeah, true. And you can't factor, like, you can't weigh someone's heart, like, plus or minus, like, positive or negative. But the other thing is like, if you guys remember how many timeouts we blew last year and for years, as much as I like John Gruden, because the play was getting in, like, too long. And we seen it when the games we were losing, we saw the kind of a similar thing where the plays were taking too long to come in. Well, I've been watching the play clock, and it's coming in, and there's 15, 18 seconds almost always still left on the clock. And then Derek Carr is doing, like, audibling or, like, giving checks and stuff for who the rushers might be or the blitzers. And that's huge. I mean, that's the kind of play we need if we want to win some games and have any shot at the playoffs. So, I mean, as much shit as I've given Derek Carr and stuff, I felt like he's definitely, proven some shit, and hopefully he continues to do so, But with that being said, Jerry Tolley came in here. What's up, Jerry? Hopefully your wife got the jersey, or it should be here this week. If you guys don't know, Jerry's wife, Jamie, was the one that won the Devontae Adams jersey. Boom, that we gave away. How many other Raider YouTubers giving away free shit to their fucking their listeners and shit? So just want to give a shout out to everybody. All right, so I'm gonna change my screen here real quick. So all right, last week we went into like the chances of if it's like even realistically possible for the Raiders to tentatively like make the playoffs. Okay. So this is the most like up to date.
Can I jump on that cardcore real quick?
Yeah,
Just
go
to
ahead. Yeah.
just so we're clear on the Raiders' position, dude, of getting in the playoffs. The Raiders right now are a 10 seed. That's all I want to point out is that we need to be a number 7 seed to get in the playoffs, just like last year. But right now, the Raiders are a 10 seed. It's crazy how the picture has shaped up so much differently with the Raiders putting 3-game winning streak together, man, and how this has shaped up. So I just wanted to point that out, that's what we're looking at, dude. We just need to move up 3 spots. We split with the Chargers right here. We've split games with them. So there are other things that will work themselves out, strength of schedule, conference record, all that. But we got that Patriots game coming up. So big game tomorrow, man. Get that W. It only betters our chances to get in the playoffs. And then we got those Patriots on our schedule, man. So this thing is realistic. And just wanted to point that fact out since we were called out. Our fan base was called out and being playoff optimists. You know what I'm saying? We're optimistic right now.
No, dude, this time of year.
In week 14, I'm optimistic.
This time of year, here's what I've always done as a Raiders fan. I'm always looking for either our shortest path to get the playoffs or what scenarios would have to happen for it to be realistic. And I'm always going to look at all possibilities until it's completely like not possible. As long as we're on the outside looking in, I'm always going to do this. Okay. We went a little more in depth than maybe some other times, but a lot of times I do this on my own without even doing a show. So like the clickbait and all that shit, people can do that, but that wasn't why we did the show. We did the show to be realistic and to like look into it to see like what we think these other guys' schedules would be. That's in, this category here. Okay. And to see if somehow, if we did win out, if it's possible. And like I said last show, I don't think a 9-8 gets you in the playoffs. I think you'd have to be a 10-7 team, which means the Raiders have to win out. Now, I don't want to get too much into the Raiders. I want to just kind of revisit what we went over. I don't want to take a super long amount of time on it, but here's the records of what we predicted. Okay. So we're not doing the Chiefs or the Titans because I feel like both of them are probably a lock for a playoff spot. So that left 5 spots available. Okay. And then because the Buffalo Bills and the Patriots already played, you can't count them. So essentially how the final record or our predictions for last week worked out. Me and Raider Dave were both 7-1, and we'll visit here real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on this. And then Raider Critique and Raider Ben were 6-2. So for the games we picked that played last Sunday, 2 of us were 6-2, and 2 of us were 7-1. So if you look at it from that standpoint, I'm not tooting my own horn. Dude, I could have been 2 and freaking 6, and I would have like called it out, because I'm just trying to have some accountability and let's revisit. Are we full of shit? Is there any possibility this happens? And I'm keeping to keep track. I got everything written down. You can't really. Oh, there you go. On a piece of paper here for all the weeks. Okay. And so, we'll go through it real quick and then I'll try to pull up on my screen on the background. I'll try to pull it up. So in case anybody wants to kind of follow along. So, first up, we'll start with the Ravens here. Okay. So all of us had the Ravens beating the Denver Broncos, and that was accurate. Okay. Next up,
that was a given. Come on.
I know that's an easy one. Some of these are easy. I never said like I'm never claiming like these are hard. I'm not Nostradamus or some shit. I mean,
but one thing though, Lamar Jackson went down with a strained PCL in that game, so they don't even know his timetable yet. So Baltimore could be a dwindling team.
Fucking guess that was going to happen. Now this shit's about to go downhill.
Well, and Baltimore got out of that game with a 1-point victory, if I'm not correct. I think they got out with 1-point victory in that game, like 10-9 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So the Ravens are 8-4 now, and then next up the Bengals. So. This is where I had the Bengals losing. Me, Critique, and Raider Ben all had the Bengals losing to the Chiefs. And the Bengals beat the Chiefs. Raider Dave was the only one that said that the Ravens would beat the Chiefs. So congrats to you, Raider Dave. So the Bengals are 8-4. So here's where things get a little dicey versus what we thought. Now, I did think when we did the last show that Bengals and Ravens would both be in the playoffs, but with Lamar Jackson being out, that could change like the whole scope of things. So like before, I had Ravens winning the division was like kind of my scope. But now it's very possible that the Bengals take over with Lamar Jackson being hurt, and the Bengals end up probably winning that division. So so next up would be the Dolphins. All right, so the Dolphins, I said I was the only one that said the Dolphins would lose to the Niners, and then Critique, Dave, and Raider Ben all said they would win. So I was the only one that got that prediction correct. So and for like my prediction for the Dolphins finishing. So like what I'm also doing is if one of us was wrong, I'm adjusting what the final record would be at the end of the year. I'm going to do this each week. We don't necessarily have to go over each week, but like, so for the Dolphins, it'd be like, I'd have them at 11-6. Critique would have them at 10-7. Raider Dave would have them at 12-5. Raider Ben would have them at 11-6. So Dolphins would be in. Bills, like I said, we all think they'd be going in the playoffs, so we're not going to go over the Bills. So next up, let's leave the Jets and Chargers out because that's like one I want to. Those are probably the two I want to dive in the most. Now the Browns, we all had the Browns beating the Texans. That's another like gimme. I don't think the Browns are going to make it. We all have the Browns about 9-8 or 8-9. The Jaguars, we all had the Jaguars losing. We all have the Jaguars finishing 5-12. The Colts lost. We all had the Colts losing to the Cowboys. We all have the Colts like 5-10 or 6-9. And then the Patriots didn't play as well. So I'm just going through my paperwork here. And then, all right. So the two teams, the reason why I wanted to do this, because I want to go back to like kind of how we started this. And last week is to go over our chances over here in the hunt or a wild card spot to see who would be, that we'd have to contend with. So last week we were pretty much saying that it was going to be like either the Jets or the Chargers that we would have to contend with for a playoff spot, and us went out. Okay. So all of us had the Jets losing to the Minnesota Vikings. Again, maybe most people would predict that. So it's not like, something super great. So all of us, our predictions for them losing to the Vikings turned out to be that way. So I'd have the Jets finishing with my predictions at 9-8. Raider Critique, the Jets 10-7. Raider Dave, Jets finishing 9-8, and then Raider Ben, Jets finishing 8-9. And then we'll get into the chokers. Of course, we all picked the Raiders. We're gonna pick no Chargers to beat us. So, and there's only one team in LA, and that's the motherfucking Raider Nation, dude. So, so with the chokers, my prediction for the Chargers is 8-9. Critiques 9-8. Raider Dave 9-8 and Raider Ben 9-8. So, if we were to win out and if our predictions were correct, then, it's very possible for us to sneak in through either the Jets or the Chargers. That's our like least path of resistance or best chance. And anything can happen on any given Sunday with any of these teams, even some that are, over here in the, the top tier for division leaders. I mean, I doubt the Chiefs like lose out or something, but shit, you never know. I mean, for all we know, at this point, what if the Chiefs lose one or two more games, the Bengals slide up, end up being number one or something like that, or the Bills have the number one spot, and then the Chiefs don't have home playoff advantage, and then the Chiefs got to go to someone else's house and play. One of these other teams over here could end up beating us, could end up beating the Chiefs for us if we were to make the playoffs. And, then we don't have to mess with them. But it would be good, like cool to go and play the Chiefs in the playoffs. That would be a badass setup.
I'd love that opportunity. So, I would love that opportunity, dude.
So again, with just Sunday's prediction.
Look at the Ravens. They might lose out.
Exactly.
They have to go in there with Huntley.
They do have a good team, though.
And they might, and well, you know what? And here's another thing with the Ravens. They've been dealing with injuries over the last 2 years. All their running backs are depleted. They don't have any other running backs left. You don't see J.K. Dobbins. That's their star running back that they've been trying to get implemented, who was effective in their offense, but they drafted him high. They have never really gotten him healthy, man. It's always down to their third string guy, Gus Edwards, doing the dirty work in Baltimore. Another thing, San Francisco lost Garoppolo. He's ruled out for the year. They're on our schedule, man. So that game becomes a little bit more winnable. if you really look at it, but I'm looking too far down the road. Sorry, man.
No, you're good. Because I was actually thinking we should probably talk about that real quick because we'll tie it into the Rams game and all that anyway. So again,
hold on 1 second.
What's up?
Fucking Mojo's in the chat, dude.
Mojo!
What up, Mojo?
Raider! Mojo, dude. I ain't seen that motherfucker in a minute, dude. That's been like a couple years. What's up, Mojo?
Yo, Mojo, what up, dude? What are we doing, man?
That's
what
our
are we
homeboy,
grilling?
dude.
What are we grilling, Mojo?
Members here.
You guys don't know, man. Mojo came on the show a few times, man. He's a cool cat.
What's the universe saying about barbecued chicken these days?
Yeah. Hey, Mojo, go check out my intro, brother. Man, that shit was lit. But we got lots of barbecue chicken up in there. So but rolling into like kind of the Raiders schedule and possibilities again. Me and Raider Dave were 6-1. Or no, 7-1, and then Raider Critique and Raider Ben were 6-2. So, we're not like some Nostradamus of football, but I just want to let you guys know our records for what we predicted, and they seem to be, I'd say, pretty good. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying, if we were like 2-6, then like, yeah, we're definitely fucking dumbasses, but, I'd say that's pretty good. So, and we'll keep track of it. For all we know, maybe, things will be different next week. And, I'll try to touch on it real quick because I'm curious. I'm just curious, not to call anybody out, ain't like that, but I'm just curious, what we thought was going to happen if it really happens, like kind of just some accountability, but not like calling people out, just to kind of see where everything's at. So, but rolling into these LA Lambs, we all know the Raiders own LA, New England, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, and then Kansas City Chiefs. Things are like just weird falling in our place. I know the Rams got Baker Mayfield, but the Rams have so many injuries. We can talk about that here in a minute when we get into the Rams game. The Patriots, they're really questionable, but I never want to ever count out Belichick because you never know with Belichick. It does piss me off. You guys don't know, you probably all do, but Raiders were supposed to have a primetime game. We were talking about it last show. We were pumped up because we're going to have another primetime game, and we got flexed out for I think it was the New York Giants and who was it?
Giants and Commanders.
Yeah, dude. All because they tied, too.
Buttlickers.
All because they freaking tied on Sunday. That pisses me off, dude, because that screws up my Christmas party. I was going to go to a Christmas party. I knew the game would be on the primetime channel. Now I'm going to have to be on my freaking phone, dude.
Hey, we miss you too, Mojo.
Damn,
you ever want to come on,
NFL.
dude, hit me up. Raider.hardcore@gmail.com, brother. Raider.hardcore@gmail.com.
He'll send you the link.
Yeah, man. We'll chop it up, man.
All right. And then the Steelers, that's, I don't know. They got a good defense, but like, I think that's a win. I think all these are winnable games, but, and then, San Francisco 49ers, obviously Jimmy G just got hurt. So who knows what the hell they're going to do at the quarterback position. And then the Chiefs, that could be flexed. It's to be determined, but the Chiefs game could be flexed into a primetime game. So if the Raiders can pull, we'd have to, I don't think we can lose any games. Honestly, that's my opinion, trying to be non-biased. I think all these games are winnable, but I think if we lose even one game, I think our playoff chances are like so freaking slim, because then you're competing with, the Jets, the Chargers, maybe even the Patriots for a playoff spot. So we'd have to win out to even have a chance at making the playoffs. Otherwise, we're just holding on to a wishing well that all this crazy shit happens and somehow we could make the playoffs at 9-8. But anything you guys want to say about the schedule and injuries and all that stuff against any of these other teams?
Well, as a matter of fact, let's jump on over here, man, and look at the injury report that we got going on over here for this game, because this has actually been quite really astounding that this wound up happening. It really came out earlier today that Rock Yassin is out with a knee injury, and it just jumped out today. Now, along with Horsted and Jayon Brown and Billings, all of these guys are out, and then Tyler Hall is questionable. Now, on their end, it doesn't even mention everybody who's out on their end, because Cooper Kupp is gone. I don't think Aaron Donald is playing.
Aaron
I
Donald
know
has been
Allen
ruled out.
Robinson isn't playing. Matthew Stafford isn't playing. And these assholes went and picked up Baker Mayfield, who probably isn't going to play either. But the reason why they picked him up is so the 49ers wouldn't get him, since the 49ers have all these issues in quarterback right now. Right. So works out for us because we got to play the 49ers this year. And I would rather see a third or fourth string quarterback than Baker Mayfield on a fairly decent 49ers team. But do you guys think that Baker Mayfield plays? I don't know, man. To be honest with you,
I don't know. I read that he might play, and I don't know. It was hard for me to buy into that, man, because I don't know if it was just Thursday night football hype because it's a short week. It's Stan Kroenke. He's a desperate guy, dude. He totally bought that Super Bowl, dude. That guy, the way he got into LA to the way he built that team last year. I can't even say he built the team. He straight bought it. And, now look at this team, dude. They're like a cellar dweller in the NFL. They're like 29th in the league or something. So the biggest factor in this game for me, if Baker Mayfield was to play, I don't know what he would really bring to the table. It's more of like what I'm stoked about this game is that Aaron Donald is not playing. And that's huge because he's the guy that could totally disrupt the game and fuck up our playoff plans or hopes. Cam Akers is another guy. We got to keep an eye on him, dude. That's a guy. They're wide receivers. They got Jefferson. Who's the other receiver they have? What's his name? Allen Robinson. They had him.
He's hurt, bro.
He's hurt. He's on IR. Oh, he's on IR officially. Yep. Yeah. So who's the other receiver? They got
on IR. Stafford's on IR. They're literally
they have another receiver. There's another receiver.
Legs.
Yeah, and so they're banged up wide receiver wise. So that kind of works to our benefit, especially with Kupp out, man, because that guy just smoothly gets open. Like he's just like It's not like he's running, hard cut for a post route or anything. He's just literally elusive, But yeah, man, I think it's a strong chance. That's why the Raiders are favored in this game. I think our defense can come up big in this game. I think, Max Crosby applying the pressure along with Chandler Jones getting in his rhythm, man. And
let's talk about that guy right quick, man. This motherfucker, I've been talking all kinds of mad shit all season about this dude being on Amber Alerts, like not just not showing up to these games. And he finally shows up with 5 quarterback pressures, 3 sacks, looking like the Chandler Jones of old. But everybody knows he was going up against a rookie tackle.
Yeah. But, the good thing is man, the way they were getting the way they were getting, I think that interior pocket, Jerry Tillery early on was getting pressure up the middle. He was playing with a lot of emotion. You could tell against his old team. He was a former first-round pick or second-round pick, I believe. So, he had a lot of emotion in that game. And, yeah, man, I just feel like that pocket interior, when we saw the week before with Billings busting up the middle of the pocket, that really helps that outside pressure. We're seeing more blitz packages, man. So we see the rookie safety, man, Isaiah Palomao. He's getting blitz action out there. Ex-USC guy too, former USC safety who's going to be playing in LA, not in the Coliseum, but he'll be playing at SoFi Stadium. So he might have a big game tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to seeing what's up with him out on the field tomorrow, man. So, I think it's going to be a gritty game tomorrow. Mainly my thing is containing Cam Akers, man, out of the backfield for the Rams. Don't let them get anything going offensively. Keep them one-dimensional. And then the Raiders, man, they can open up their playbook. Their playbook's wide open right now, especially with these last 3 games going into 5 quarters. You had the overtime game in Denver, the overtime game in Seattle, and then you got the Chargers, man. That one came down to the end in the 4th quarter there. So, the Raiders are playing a lot of good football and a few extra quarters under their belt, man. So I think their playbook is wide open and ready for action tomorrow night. So, and I think Josh McDaniels, I think he's prepared for these short weeks, man. I shouldn't say I think he should, but I want to see his preparation, I should say, going on a short week, man. I'm really interested to see how they make an adjustment as a coaching staff the next, from these 4 days to prepare.
And they're playing with fire, dude. You guys see like when Jacobs runs the ball, like how it just like not just like helps the offense, but like gets them fired up, man. That fool, man, like I think it was on one of the pictures I did on the video on the intro. And shout out to the chat. If you guys are just tuning in, I got a barbecue choker special for the intro videos. So you guys go back and check that out. I'll probably when we close down the channel here for the night, we'll probably redo those videos. But just they're playing with a lot of passion, dude. I saw like Matt, Khalil Mack sitting there and it was like he didn't even like get the tackle, and it's like, man, like, I don't know, man. I just want to say thank you, Cleo Mack, for Josh Jacobs, because that motherfucker wants to be a Raider, and he's playing his heart out every fucking play. And I know it's a contract year, but I don't even care, man. Like I hope, I call him the silver bullet, man, because he hits the hole like a bullet firing out of the cannon. But I hope Jacob stays a Raider. Like, I did like, Cleo Mack, but like to me, Josh Jacobs, dude, I've wanted like since Bo Jackson, honestly, like just straight up. We've had some good ones, but nobody has been as special as Bo Jackson since Josh Jacobs. And the records and all that shit is proving it. Up there with the OJ Simpsons, the Walter Paytons. I mean, that shit just does not fucking happen unless you are an elite generational talent. And the reality is, Mac helped us win some games, but like I said before, but Josh Jacobs is literally helping, like making us win games. Not all by himself. We got Devontae Adams, so like, and the offensive line has to block. But I'm just saying, like, straight up, without Josh Jacobs, man, dude, we might only still have 2 fucking wins, straight up.
And Josh
and
Jacobs,
after all this, I'm sure Khalil Mack is wishing that he would have took a pay cut just to stay here. Because sitting there looking at his supporting cast over in Butt Charger land, he doesn't have a supporting cast. Joey Stay Hurt Bosa is what? Hurt again. Sitting on the bench, nursing whatever. Oh, yeah, he had a groin injury. So, he's always hurt. Khalil Mack is literally being expected to carry this Charger defense along with a few secondary players over into holding a team under 24 points. I'm sure he got tired of that. I'm sure I would be tired of that, knowing that, for one, that's never going to happen. Number two, they got rid of Jerry Tillery because he went too hard in practice. That sounds like a bunch of pussies to me, and I'm sure Khalil is looking around going, man, I am surrounded by pussies. I do not want to be around here. All these powder blues, did these powder blues fucking soak into your brain? You fucking pussy motherfuckers. You got rid of one of our best players because you got tired of him hitting you in practice? Well, now he gets to hit you twice a year, motherfucker, and he wears silver and black. Fuck you, Chargers. We fucking love to kick your ass. Go shove that fucking bolt up your ass, motherfuckers.
And you need those hits in practice, man. You really do, because they prepare you for games like these in December. And that's why our Raiders are hitting hard, man. They're fully practicing, dude. And Tillery, man, boy, did he play with emotion on Sunday. That's what I love seeing him just get up the middle in that pocket, man. And but Josh Jacobs, going back to Josh Jacobs, I owe him a thank you card, dude, because every time Josh Jacobs gets another 140-yard game of rushing and, surpasses another Bo Jackson record, especially what we saw in Seattle 2 weeks ago, which was amazing. I'll use the word amazing. I don't like that word amazing. People abuse it sometimes. But what we saw from Josh Jacobs 2 weeks ago in Seattle was amazing. I love it. It was forever. But Josh Jacobs, I owe you a thank you card, and I'll tell you why, man, because I'm a Bo Jackson fan from the 90s, dude, and that was depressing to see Bo get hurt. I say it over and over, dude. Man, oh man, watching Bo Jackson get hurt and never seeing Bo replaced was super depressing for me, man. So thank you, Josh Jacobs, for picking up that torch, man, and carrying on that fire, dude, that Bo had, dude, and stiff-arming fools, running fools over, running with authority. Because every time you give the ball to Josh Jacobs, you feel like something's going to happen. Even those 2-yard gains, I feel like Josh Jacobs it's just a matter of, okay, he sees the hole, bam, he's going to cut it back upfield. Dude, and same with Devontae Adams.
Yeah, dude. Well, and like Jacobs will hit a hole sometimes. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna go anywhere. And like, because I'm used to other running backs and their style, and like it literally would be maybe half a yard gain or 1 yard gain, and somehow Jacobs slivers through, and next thing you know, it's like an 8-yard run. I'm like, how do you pull that out of his ass? I'm like, go, dude. I'm like,
so it's like that run that happened when the corner sized him up, grabbed him, he picked that motherfucker up and carried him 4 yards. And fell forward for Jacobs, like a 6-yard gain.
This should have been a penalty, but I noticed when I was going through trying to find some pictures for some intro videos, the last show we did, when Jacobs was playing the Seahawks, he like grabbed this defensive lineman's face mask and like twisted it and twisted his head down. It was like a face mask, like fucking, stiff arm helmet twist. It was like, get off me, bitch. And he like threw the dude's fucking head. That may have been the run where he got the touchdown. One of the touchdowns. I can't remember, right. But hey, breaking news real quick. So we just had some promotions in the chat. So AG Raider, Mojo, and Southside Raider, y'all just got promoted to be mods on my channel. So congrats. And
Nice.
I might give out some more
Congratulations.
hammers later on, but you know,
Hey,
I
what's
got a
going on, Raider
notification.
Ray?
I got a notification on here saying I needed some mods. So I've been meaning to do it for a while. But you know, I want to give a shout out to the chat real quick. Raider Ray, Mojo, Fairhand, Van City Raider, SJ Raider. What's up, SJ? Jerry Tolley, Raphael. And then I know Critique has some on his chat. So I just want to say shout out to everybody who's up in here. So, you know, you guys keep up doing the great work. All I ask is if you're a mod, all I ask is just, you know, don't boot people. Okay, here's my rules for like, I never like stated this. So I promoted you guys and I'll tell you after. But you know, it's like don't just boot somebody if they're a Chiefs fan or a Niners fan or something like that, unless they're getting personal
We
or
love good debates.
or
Even if
real
it is
fucking
with
stupid.
other,
And,
you
and
know,
same with
shitty
the
fucking
Raider
fan bases
fans.
from other
I
teams.
try
I
to
love
let
how
shit
Mojo
fly,
dropped it.
even if someone's like talking shit a little bit or whatever. If they get stupid, I'll you know, I usually see it. I'll boot them. But I'm just saying, like, you know, friendly banter is cool. If someone's being like too disrespectful or too personal, then they got to go, or you can put them in timeout and whatnot. So other than that, but yeah, so you know, but you know, all around, like, so you know, thinking about this Rams game, they got a lot of injuries, you know, but they are a team that scares me, even though the Raiders own LA. I saw a stat out there that was like, you know, 65% of Raider fans are going to be, you know, are, you know, buying the tickets and shit. So shout out to Raider Nation, going to be a blackout Thursday night football and whatnot. That's why I did the LA Raiders, you know, little throwback because, you know, the Raiders own LA. But, you know, Aaron Donald being out, I think that helps us a lot for Josh Jacobs. But it always scares me when there's somebody on like any position in life, especially football, but somebody you don't know about that, like, dude, maybe they've been grinding this whole time and nobody's even fucking heard of them. And they're so hungry and like just waiting for their opportunity that they're going to come light some shit on fire. Like, you know, I hate to say it, but like, remember Nick Mullins, man, we all thought the Raiders are going to beat the Niners that game. What was it, like Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football or some shit? Next thing you know, we make Nick Mullins look like the next coming of fucking Tom Brady. And that's not the only team that's done that to the Raiders, but I'm just saying, like,
Nick Mullins was actually fairly decent, though. I mean,
what?
there was a reason why we had him on the team, you know, because we had him in the offseason.
Yeah, but nobody knew of him. Let's be
him.
honest, dude. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not calling you out or something. I'm just saying but none of us, including me, knew who the fuck Nick Mullins was until he kicked the Raiders' ass. And then we all remembered.
We sure knew it after that game. To me, he seems like a cheap man's Colt McCoy.
Right, but I'm just saying
that's what he reminds
like,
me of. Just a cheap man's Colt McCoy, a dude who can get you a 2-2 on a 4-game stretch.
Right. But like the Baker Mayfield thing, like, so here's the thing. If you guys don't know, you know, some of you probably do if you listen to like Raider Nation radio or whatever. But they were talking about it and how you know, I think it was Vinny Bonsignore or something was saying like how Sean McDermott, the Rams coach, sat on a plane with Baker Mayfield, and I forget if it was like for the Senior Bowl or some shit, but before Baker Mayfield was drafted, or Sean McVay, sorry. Sean McVay was, you know, sitting next to Baker Mayfield and asking him questions about their offense and shit. And it appears that Sean McVay wanted to, you know, kind of learn some of that college, you know, play calling and, you know, adapt it to kind of some of their style for the NFL. So the schemes or systems to Baker Mayfield's skills could be similar. You know, like McVay may have some shit up his sleeve that might fit Baker Mayfield's skill set. You know, the other thing is people say, well, like, oh, he hasn't, you know, known the playbook in one day or half a day. You're right. It's not enough time to get experience with the team. However, like back to my first point, you know, somebody that's, you know, and he's cocky. I really don't like Baker Mayfield. I know some people do, but I don't like the guy. I think he's a douchebag, but that's just my opinion. But he might be a great quarterback. All I know is if he's down on his luck, he's got no other options. He's going to play hard and he's going to play aggressive, whether he's had 4 hours to practice, no hours to practice, one day, it doesn't matter. The dude is going to be fired and lit up. And he was a Heisman Trophy winner, right? Isn't that correct?
This is his third team in a single season.
Okay, whatever. I mean, you know, would you rather have Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson?
Either way, I mean, like we could say that that's negative, or we could say that that's positive. He might be able to use that as fire to fuel him through this game.
Right.
And we also need to understand that as the Raiders, we are used to playing down to our competition, which is something that we cannot afford to do this week.
Yeah,
Well,
and as far as Baker Mayfield goes, though, man, I think does the guy play? I mean, is he going to play with fire? If he plays for the Rams tomorrow night, if he does, he'll play with some fire. I think the Raiders could knock the wind out of him pretty quick on that one. I look at Baker Mayfield like this. I was pretty shocked when he went number 1 overall in the draft. I think the dude was not worthy of a number 1 overall draft pick. I just did not think. I thought the Browns reached like hell, dude, when they drafted him. I thought it was I actually thought it was a joke. I was just like, this is a joke, dude. And I'll put it this way. I've never been a fan of the guy, dude. I've never, I pay attention. I see what's going on, but I've never been a fan of the guy. And I never want to be overconfident. But tomorrow night, I hope if he plays for the Rams, dude, I hope we throw his ass around, dude, because, and just knock the wind out of him early. And, don't let him get cocky, because you don't want Sean McVay, dude, to get his play calling in a groove. He's a good play caller when things go right for him. So the key is I think tomorrow night, man, it's going to be all about defense, dude. And I think defense is going to feed off of that Raider Nation that's going to be in the crowd, that silver and black that's going to be in the crowd. But
hey, let me ask you a question. So we've had a shit ton. I don't remember how many games have been, if it's been all of them or whatever, because some Thursday.
I got to give a shout out to Thursday Night Football, baby.
Yeah.
I'm rocking this bad boy. I never wear this bad boy, but I'm rocking that bad boy for Thursday Night Football tomorrow night.
Fuck that shit. This should be our Color Rush jersey right here.
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
man.
Yeah,
with black
suit
numbers,
us up,
man.
NFL. Hey, NFL, suit us up, man. Give us these dope ass Raider looks, dude.
I'm gonna email Kami Goodell, and I'm gonna say fucking make this our fucking rush, dude. But anyways, talking about defense and like a lot of these games on Thursday night, for some reason they've been low scoring. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's going to be a low scoring game or high scoring? Do you think it's going to be similar to how a lot of games have been on Thursday Night Football, where it's like 3-3? It's just like fingernails on a chalkboard, or you think
I hope not. This better be a blowout. I'm talking 40-3. Just an absolute domination from the Raiders to the Rams. Just pretty much. And you know what else I want to see? I want to see the Rams offense getting frustrated because the crowd won't be quiet when they have the ball.
Yep.
That is just that is a beautiful sound to hear, and just an even better thing to see. And we're going to see it on Thursday night.
Oh, absolutely. The pass rush shows up and we get after whoever's behind center for the Rams, dude. That could get the crowd live so fast. That crowd's going to be live going in there. And, but yeah, man, I think I'm confident in tomorrow's game. You know what I mean? And yeah, dude, it comes down to putting up 30 points, man. They put up 30 points in this game. They're getting a W, man. And they've already beat the tougher team in the NFC West, man, and on the road against the Seahawks, man. So that was the big game on the road for the Raiders when it comes to the NFC West. And yep. But we got to make sure we play our game, what we do best, man. And we got to execute our plays offensively, and we got to get after the quarterback defensively as we have been.
I got hit with a copyright claim for doing the Phillip Rivers video where he's on the Chargers. He's like, I can't hear, and he's like freaking out like a little bitch. But otherwise, I'd probably play that clip real quick. But that's that clip right there. That's what I want to fucking see, dude. Yeah. I want to see us in the LA Rams stadium and Raider Nation going crowd. And I want to see little Baker Mayfield being like, I can't hear. You know what I mean? Because that's what we need. And the media, man, you know what? They're going to try to hype this shit up to like be like LA versus LA. But like they want more Rams fans than they do, Raider fans. But, I guess NFL Films or whatever, I guess they were out there at, the Raider Nation radio station, 9:20 a.m. out there in Vegas. And I guess they were like recording some stuff that might be on the pregame. So pretty excited to see that. Hopefully your boy Q will be on there. That'd be fucking awesome. Yep. And also Q has also got nominated. He's not. It's not a lock yet, and some other guys might get it, but he did get a nomination for potentially winning an award for something with radio. I forget the name of the award, but I thought that was pretty cool. So it would be badass to see Q, because he's one of us, man. He grew up a Raider fan. He worked his ass off to be where he's at. He's covering the Raiders. I think he does a fucking immaculate job, man. And that would be like
a fucking phenomenal job. Like he fucking covers him like a glove, dude.
Yeah.
It's just, he's on it.
Right, but they're definitely going to try to hype up the LA. Like who? Here's my opinion: the pregame is going to be like, who owns LA? Is it the Raiders or is it the
There's no
Rams?
fucking question.
Oh, we
There's
know.
no question.
There is no question. I'm gonna switch the background again.
Well, dude, I'll put it this way:
I mean,
there's
and we gotta
like
smack them around a little bit and just blow them the fuck out to prove a point.
I'll put it this way: I see a
Why
ton
not?
of Rams fans right now posting their tickets. I've been seeing it the last couple of days, and it goes like this. It doesn't go, "Hey, Rams fans, we got Rams tickets for sale." No, it's Raiders fans. I got 2 tickets for this price, and they're going. So like that's mid-level. Actually, dude was selling them for $200 a pop. I could have got my ticket in the nosebleeds for $130. That's what my buddies paid. They're all rolling out tomorrow night. So hey, one quick shout out to the comments though, dude. It I want to say it was let's see here, Southside Raider. Looking forward to the Adams-Ramsey matchup, the Devontae Adams, Jalen Ramsey matchup. I can't wait for that matchup as well. You're going to have 2 veterans going toe-to-toe, 2 veterans skilled in their prime. I look forward to that, especially with Devontae Adams schooling the rookie. I mean, I call them rookies still, but the young DBs like, Patrick Surtain and Asante Samuel Jr., and those guys for the Chargers and the Broncos. I mean, he literally cooked those young guys, dude. And I mean, if you watched the film last week, he absolutely shakes. I mean, it's like when Q was on the show and we talked about it, about the crossover move. He was talking about the basketball. If you watch, man, he is literally shaking these guys out of their ankles. So that is a matchup that I cannot wait. And Thursday night broadcast, there's Thursday night NFL broadcast. It's very slow and kind of bland. So you're going to be able to key in on that matchup, I think, with the way that the tempo of the game is called via the media and stuff like that. So I do look forward to that matchup, man.
And if I can piggyback off of that, you're also going to want to watch for Thursday night NFL, which is also considered Thursday night fuckery when it comes to the Raiders, because Devontae Adams will catch the ball. And whether he's close to the sideline or not, they're going to rule it incomplete or out of bounds if it's a spectacular catch. I mean, we've seen it at least one time for the last 4 or 5 games where he will pull a spectacular catch out of the middle of nowhere, and they will rule it incomplete because the referees absolutely hate that Devontae Adams is a Raider.
And they're going to have to take that call from New York. Like New York's going to have that call. Like, did a blade of grass from the out of bounds graze his cleat? Like, that's what they're looking for.
You saw that catch last week where it hit him in the hand and he palmed the fucking point of the ball.
And his one foot and his other foot were in stride inbounds.
Hand. It was like he had a magnet on that shit because it was solid. It was there. He possessed that was a possessable catch.
Yep.
It was. That was a catch.
He had almost like 3 feet in motion. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And they took it from him all because it was like, there's no fucking way he just did that.
Well, on a crucial play too, because that would have been a first down. The Chargers wouldn't have got the ball back, I don't believe, after that catch. That would have ate more time off the clock and everything. So it was a crucial.
That would have iced the game right there, but they just couldn't give it to him.
Yeah.
And that shit kills me because he has been making catches like that week after week after week, and they keep fucking him over.
Yep.
Hey, shout out to Mojo. Hey, he said Q's one of us, or actually I just put on there. Did a show with him once. Yeah, Mojo, you did do a show with Q. It was like me, Q, you,
I missed the first
Murph.
one.
I think Murph from Radio
you guys had
Radio was
Murph
on that one.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but Q came on again. Dude.
You guys had Violator on that night too.
Yep.
I think you had Violator on.
Oh
that
yeah,
night.
yeah.
I watched that show.
That was years ago. I know we couldn't get everybody on, and back then StreamYard only did like 6 guests or whatever.
And I remember I had to work that night, but I had my headphones on that night.
Yeah, but no, it was cool to have Q back on. So if you guys didn't check that out, you can go back. That was a couple weeks ago. And then Mojo, he gave away a jersey, just like this Devontae Adams one. It's pretty sick. It's authentic, real jersey shit. And then we were also giving away some gift cards to the chat. You know what I mean? Giving back to Raider Nation. So hopefully we can do it here again at some point. But
I got a unwashed Josh Jacobs jersey over the past 3 weeks that smells like, it doesn't smell like shit. It smells good, actually, like food and beer and all that shit. But I ain't giving it away. That's my good luck jersey.
Hell yeah. Hey,
much love, Raider Nation. I love you.
I got this jersey in the mail, dude. I got this jersey up here in the mail. But the weird thing is this picture makes it look like it's like really like the lines in it are really white, but it's not. It's really like grayish camo. Actually, because my wife ordered me one and gave it to me early, and it was a medium. And normally I always wear medium on jerseys, but for some reason this thing was really tight in the shoulders. So anyway, she had to reorder it, and I'm getting a large. So if you guys go online, you get this badass Jacobs jersey. For some reason, these things fit like really tight. I don't know if it's just the one that I got, or if like that whole like brand or whatever line they made is tight, but you might want to go a size bigger if you're looking at this style of jersey. So, but dude, I love this jersey, dude. Like talking about, like I don't ever want the Raiders like silver and black to change. But fuck, dude, if we could have like one game, like a Veterans Day kind of fucking deal or something, because this is kind of camouflage. I know it's not like green, but like how they have like the Veterans Month, or like they support the troops kind of thing. That would be sick. Just to do it for like a game here and there. I would love to see Raiders in something like that. But that's just me. I'd like to, see something fucking a little different. But
I think it'll always be possible. I mean, the Raiders, they've held their traditional, standard with jerseys for like probably like 40 years. Well, except for the color rush jerseys. They switched it up for Thursday Night Football. Every team did. But I think the Raiders have changed their jersey styles maybe total like 4 times. It's all relevantly the same, but they've switched it up a little bit. So you never know what's in the works in the future, as far as because they have all kind. There's so many graphic designers out there and so many different, like you've seen the cool gray, like shiny chrome looking helmets and all that. There's a lot of cool shit out there, man. A lot of good designers. So who knows going forward. But that's a dope Jacobs jersey though. I dig it.
It's called shit. I'm trying to see where this. So where I first started was NFL Shop, but they sold out after Jacobs had the 303 total yards in that game. Oh, here it is. Sorry. Jacobs Nike Black RFL CTV limited jersey. So RFL CTV limited jersey. I just typed in Josh Jacobs jersey and I looked for something where it was like where I came across that jersey and I was like, oh shit, because I've seen the Derek Carr and Darren Waller ones like that, but not a Josh Jacobs one. So but NFL Shop is sold out of them. Hold on, I can tell you. There's one, I don't know if it's legit site. I shouldn't say this online, but there's one I found that says they have this jersey, and it looks like it's like legit, like it has the NFL logos on it and shit, but it's critique isn't backstage.
I totally hit the fucking wrong button and bunked out. My bad, dude.
But hey, there's a site. I don't know if it's legit, so you gotta proceed at your own risk. But it's called praisetoheaven.com. Praisetoheaven.com. Don't ask me why their site is named that. All I know is I was looking everywhere for this jersey after I found out it sold out, because I had it like saved on my thing for like 2 weeks. And anyways, I came across this site and apparently they have them. And the one on NFL Shop, I think, was like between like 130 and 140 for that jersey. But this Praise to Heaven has them on for like $70.
Did you ever check out 951's page that I sent you for IE out here in the Inland Empire?
I don't think so.
Okay, so 951 jerseys, you can follow him on Facebook. He does shipping, all that, even meet. I mean, it's out here in Southern California, so sometimes he'll meet you somewhere, get you a jersey, but hit dude up for jerseys. Sometimes he's selling autographed memorabilia, auctions it off, so you could buy a $20, like, say, ticket, a raffle ticket, and that could make you eligible to get, like, say, tickets for the Raiders-Niners game. I think dude has season tickets to the Raiders, too, because he seems to be giving away tickets for games, like whether it be the Rams, Chargers, Raiders. But dude is not a Raider fan, I will say. He's a Cowboys fan, but his biggest seller is Raider jerseys. You know what I mean? But I haven't hit dude up in a while, but he's on the Facebook. You can hit him up, 951 jerseys.
Are they like authentic? Like, do they have like the NFL?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, but
check this out. And this is how I feel about it. You know what I mean? If you can go ahead and go the damn expensive route and go get that little bullshit ass ugly fucking NFL logo on your shit. Yeah. Or you can get one like this. You know what I'm saying? I get these for $30.
Yep.
Fucking Derek Carr, baby. And it's fucking made by Raider Nation, for Raider Nation, by our brothers and sisters who actually help. It actually helps and support them instead of the NFL, because over here at the Raider Critique, we don't drink the corporate Kool-Aid. You should go to badguybadgirl.org to where I got my patches made over there. And they also make jerseys. They make hoodies. They make all kinds of shit. And Raider Bick is a motherfucking Raider. It's going straight in his pocket.
Hey,
it's
and
not the NFL
the funny thing is,
it's one of our brothers we're helping, and he does damn good work, as you can see.
The funny thing is, none of us are sponsored by any of these motherfuckers.
Nope. But hey,
but
I'm
at the
just
same
saying,
time,
no, it's funny because like,
and it's in, bro.
And it's crazy
a
when you're
badass
buying.
dude.
It's crazy the way jerseys work too, dude. Like with the way the NFL. I mean, because I got myself in hot water in the mid 2000s selling jerseys back in the day. So I was kicked off of eBay years ago, cease and desist, all that shit. Dude, yeah. So, but I learned a lot in that process, and it's fucked up the way they sell jerseys. I'll just put it that way. It's fucked up.
Yeah, man.
Put down the corporate Kool-Aid. You know, put down. Always put down the corporate Kool-Aid.
There's some poor kid in some third world country making that shit for 20 cents an hour, and they're fucking ripping people off by selling them for $120.
Yep.
Or more. Some of them are actually more. Yeah.
It's pretty much your new age diamond scheme.
Have you guys looked at hockey jerseys? Hockey jerseys are way more expensive than NFL jerseys.
Yep.
I was looking at some hockey jerseys. I was like, they're like 200 and something bucks. I was like, damn. I was like, dude, these hockey players are like proud of these jerseys or something. I didn't know hockey jerseys were that expensive, but my son's playing hockey, getting into it.
They're trying to pay for all their dental work.
Right. I've been trying to get into hockey a little bit because my son likes hockey. So, you know, I'm going to Colorado Avalanche and Golden Knights on January 2nd. So that's going to be here in Colorado. So
I can talk to a hockey player and he's like this, huh? Like 14. How many pucks did you eat, dude? Fucking couple lefts, couple rights, couple pucks. You know?
NFL players are like this. They're like, hey, can you get the door, Sonny?
My knees, my back,
my neck, and my back.
Polamalu spared me back in fucking 1997.
Oh shit!
Damn that Howie Long.
Fucking Howie Long, goddamn fucking. That son of a bitch speared me in the nuts. That was before instant replay.
Shout out to Raider Primos. Yeah, man, I agree with this straight up. I agree with this straight up. You know, so Raider Primo said we can't take it lightly on the Rams. Second and third stringers got something to play for, and that's what I was saying earlier. If you missed it, they got chips on their shoulders, so they will play harder. We better not sleep on them. I agree 100%. And
they played a close game last game too,
right? Just because we're winning some games and we're joking around and shit, but you got to play every game like it's your last. Honestly, especially for the Raiders, man. We want to go out there and win this game. I don't care. I mean, look what we did, dude, against the Cardinals, man. We were up. Raider Nation did the like high five. The game's over at halftime, we think. And next thing you know, we're getting smoked at the end. So it ain't over till it's over, man. I've always been a huge proponent of that because I've seen so many games going all the way back to the Elway days and stuff where they would just come back and beat the Raiders or other teams where we'd be ahead last 4 minutes of the game or last 2 minutes and let some other team fucking beat us, man. And this is seasons like when we went 0-10 or even before that, where we didn't have good records, but like our records could have easily been a lot better, but we just let the game slip. We got like too cocky towards the end of the game. So I agree with that 100%. The game ain't over until it's over. And, you know, don't go cashing your check before you earned it kind of thing. You got to earn that shit first. And, you know, you got to, you know, don't, what's the rooster saying? Don't hatch your egg or count your eggs before they hatch or whatever. So I'm count your eggs
before they're hatched. Absolutely. Because we can't sleep on these fools, you know, at all. We have no idea because we don't know what Raiders team is going to show up. Is it going to be the same Raiders team who's been fighting with that fire and tenacity that we've seen the last 3 weeks? Or are we going to see that team that laid an egg against the Saints? You know, as much as I don't want to remember that, I still remember it.
Yep.
Later,
Shout out to Mojo, man. Peace out, brother.
Bye, man.
Be safe out there. We'll catch up again, Mojo, man. Much love to you, brother, and good seeing you. Merry Christmas, brother, and Happy New Year to you as well, brother.
Hell yeah.
And go Raiders. Go Raiders tomorrow night. We're pumped up, Dave.
It was great seeing you in the chat, Mojo. Ain't seen you in a minute. So, you know, a couple years at least. So, you know, hopefully you and your family doing good. Hopefully you have a good Christmas and let's go Raiders. Take care,
last
brother.
Time I saw him was in Raiders Fan Radio's chat. And that was about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
That was the last time I seen him though. And I mean, before then I didn't see him for like a year and a half.
Before I was in his podcast or checking out his podcast. It's called The Universe Speaks. He has a podcast him and his buddies are on, and yeah, it's really entertaining, funny, definitely enjoyable. And yeah, man, so I'll have to catch up on him with that, and see what's up. But yeah, no, it's good to hear from Mojo for sure, dude.
Alex
going back,
hit it on the head,
doing
brothers.
drafts and everything.
Hell yeah.
We didn't give ourselves any wiggle room at all, dude.
Yeah.
The games that we should have just literally wiped the floor with these teams like the Cardinals and the Saints, we ended up losing these games, which relatively has really put our back against the wall.
Yeah.
Luckily, we do have Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, because could you imagine this team without them right now?
Yeah. And speaking of Josh Jacobs, man, I was kind of thinking with this short week, man, I'm wondering if Josh Jacobs is going to get a full 20, 25 carries. I was just thinking that just like in the last 5 minutes as we were chatting. And I was thinking, I wonder if this might be one of those games where coming on a short week, maybe Josh Jacob eats early in this game and we get, maybe Zamir White going in this game in the second half or something. I'm just wondering if the coaching staff has some plans to maybe get some, fresh legs out there coming off a big win. Josh Jacobs is coming off 3 really strong games, playing in extra quarters. And, he's been getting 140 yards. I think he's compiling all the yardage in the last 3 games. He probably has about 600 yards rushing, close to 600 yards, all purpose yards through 3 games. So on a short week, I'm wondering if, how they're going to utilize Josh Jacobs. It's just kind of something that just struck my mind as we were kind of chopping it up.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking myself that, we have seen Zamir White show up and, in his minimal amounts of carries, he has, showed flashes of being a good running back. He looks like a really good north and south style runner who likes to lower his shoulder. I wouldn't be surprised to see Zamir White get more carries this game due to Josh Jacobs having that quad and calf injury.
Yeah.
And to me, this game here, I mean, I'm not trying to look past the Rams at all whatsoever, but with no Aaron Donald, this is huge.
Yes.
And and this offensive line is blocking with some continuity. They're a real good run blocking offensive line. So any running back can literally average 4 yards a carry behind this offensive line right now, especially against a Rams defensive line who is lacking Aaron Donald. So I do like that aspect of it, but I don't want to see Josh Jacobs get ridden so hard that even if we do wind up making the playoffs, that he's going to be unserviceable because he's hurt by the time playoffs roll around.
Yeah. No, it's one of those, like as far as the offensive line eating tomorrow, man. I mean, yeah, they're gonna, they like to move in space. They're very elusive, with, the way the guards pull and the way that, that the line is somewhat, with Andre James, being slightly undersized and mobile, and move, being versatile and all that, I'm wondering, like Zamir White, maybe 10 carries tomorrow, maybe just to kind of change it up a little bit.
Right, unless he starts breaking some big ones.
Oh, yeah, if he breaks a big one, he's in a groove. Oh, yeah.
15 carries.
Especially, yeah. And especially if you got a guy like, and speaking on Josh Jacobs' behalf, he seems like that guy that's coming to the sideline saying, "Coach, put me back in. I can, he won't tell you the tires are worn, or he's getting worn out or anything. He seems to be the guy that wants the action.
That scares me. Because that scares the shit out of me, because that's, what that reminds me of? Darius Philon.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Darius Philon went in reckless abandon the week 18 last year, just went all out, played recklessly, and got himself hurt and still wanted to stay out there.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming in, dude. Right here, he's like, Southside. I love Southside. Anyone behind him will eat. Like, all those guys can run, but here's the deal, man. Jacobs ain't gonna let none of them in, man. That's what
I'm afraid of, is he's gonna be like, no, he's gonna be the ball hog, dude. He's gonna.
And the reason why we're talking about it hardcore,
either he's gonna get hurt like past years, because we know he's had some shoulder injuries and some other issues at times, but maybe he doesn't, dude. Maybe this is just like, he's like, dude, if somebody's on fire, man, let him be on fire, man.
Exactly. I'm going to be honest. I would like to see him break every single record franchise-wise for this Raiders team as a running back. I think that would be.
He could end up being the offensive player of the year.
And
like,
I think Jacobs already is breaking pretty much our franchise records. I mean, because him and Devontae Adams are crushing some records, man, going back to like 1991. Like he's already passed, I think, Tim Brown with 5 touchdowns. I think it was like 5 touchdowns of like 40 or 20 yards or more or something like that. He already passed Tim Brown like in 2001 on run record. Devontae Adams did. Josh Jacobs is just crushing it. I mean, we don't really see too many running backs like in the Raider as a Raider back doing what Josh Jacobs is doing. But the reason why we were talking about hardcore is because we're coming on a short week. We're coming off 3 big games with Josh Jacobs where you get good performances where he probably compiled, if not 600 plus all purpose yards over the last 3 games. Coming into a short week, we were just wondering, is Zamir White going to be a little bit more involved, maybe 10 carries, just to kind of alleviate some Jacobs of the wear and tear, especially coming on a short week. Now, coming off this week, though, when we go into that Patriots game, that's why tomorrow's win's big. We're going to have a lot of rest going into that Patriots game.
A good 10 days
they'll
have of rest.
And the Patriots will have 6 days rest coming off that game as well, because from their week.
I mean, okay, thinking about it scheme wise, okay, because like let's take off our fan hat, let's put our coaching hat on, because my fan hat says Jacobs running fucking 100% of the downs, even like punt returns.
Hell yeah,
you know what I mean?
Get
like,
the ball.
But realistically, because Raider Dave, I think you brought up a good point. Thinking about it, like, yeah, you don't want to burn him out, especially if we have a shot at the playoffs. But more than just that is the defensive line, like especially with Aaron Donald being out. I mean, it's not like we're playing. I mean, they have a good defense still, I feel, but like I know 2 of their linebackers are out, Aaron Donald. So, if you were to start like or play another running back in a game, it would be a game like this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even though it's a like short week, it's technically a away game, but it is a home game.
Probably it's a home game all the way, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could see there being, trying to mix it up and stuff. But to Raider Primo's question, because I think this is a good question too. He said, do you think Jacob's playing like this because of contract year? So here's where I'm at on it. Honestly, is just I think it's probably like a 70-30 split. So about 70%, I just think he's playing hard. I think 30% is about the contract and whatever. And the reason why I say that is because other years where he was hurt, I mean, like his shoulder was like was it the Chiefs game or the Packers
it was the
game?
Chiefs game. He played with the Chiefs game where he separated his shoulder. Like, are you talking his rookie year in 2019?
Well, there was like 2 different stints where he got hurt. It all
2019, he had the separated shoulder. I think
but he kept playing that game. Like after he separated,
they said he had it in like week 3 or something, and he carried it all the way through. He carried it all the way through that Chiefs game where he ran against the Chiefs. He ran hard. He had that outside. I mean, anyway,
and Gruden took him out of the game. I think
somehow it got in the news. Somebody saw him in a sling in the locker room, and then it got in the news, and then they benched him for that Tennessee game. But then they brought him back for that Jags game. But he tried. He played hurt. He plays hurt.
Yeah. So like as far as like anybody that's going to play with that kind of heart, dude, like part of it is the money. But if I'm not mistaken, Jacobs has like a tattoo on him, right? A Raiders tattoo.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
Yeah, sure does. Not many people just do that.
Right. Him and Crosby, I think, are the only guys on the team. I mean, Derek Carr been on our team 9 years. I don't think Derek Carr has a Raider tattoo. Maybe he does, but
well, that's because everybody in Raider Nation keeps trying to fire him after every year.
You got to remember too. I think not just was like Jacobs like homeless before he came to the NFL and stuff like that, and a hard upbringing, but Jacobs was one of the guys that was part of the Gruden era, and that was part of that transition where nobody wanted to play for the Raiders during the move from Oakland to Las Vegas. Now they do, but back then there was very few guys that wanted to play for this team. So Jacobs has been like part of this molding process, and some other guys like Crosby and stuff. But like Jacobs has like helped put this team on his shoulders, literally, and he's taken this shit personally. So like when he's running hard, I don't think it's just about the money. I don't. I think he's a different character kind of guy. I think he's a generational like talent kind of player. But like more than anything, I just think that like that's just like embedded in his soul of who he is, dude. He's the kind of guy that could have his like arm blown off or something. He'd still be trying to shoot fools or something. You know what I'm saying? So like that kind of guy that Jacobs is, man. He's gonna play and give 100%. And I think he takes this like Raider organization very personally. I have a audio clip I could play, but I think it was like maybe his second year in the league where we lost to the Jets and we should have won that game. And the next game, Jacob said, he's like, I'm just glad that, our team didn't quit this game.
I remember that.
They played till the end, and we won that game, I believe. But essentially, Jacobs was calling out the team for the week before because he felt like they gave up. You know what I mean? And I think that I can't remember if that was when we had Osimile or not. But anyways, the point is like, Jacobs is calling a spade, and this was like when he wasn't, got exactly respect in the NFL and earned, been in the NFL a long time and stuff, and he's still like playing and calling shit out. So to me, like, I think most of it is just the kind of heart he has. What do you guys think?
I think Jacobs has a lot of heart. I agree with a lot of what you say. I think in this situation, though, you got a new general manager in Dave Ziegler, new coach in Josh McDaniels. I think with them not picking up his fifth-year option, Jacobs 100% is playing for a contract at this point. He's showing them every reason why he should be, re-signed and why he should be retained. Whether Jacobs tests the market and goes into the actual open market and doesn't negotiate and get something done with the Raiders beforehand, that remains to be seen, man. That's the business side of things. But I think anytime, man, there's a player like playing for a contract, and as for a running back, man, it is harder for a running back to lock up a nice career, like a contract that could basically, take care of him for the rest of his life. It's hard for a running back to get that versus, say, a edge rusher in the league, or edge rushers a little bit more demand. They're a little bit more rare. Quarterback harder to find, harder to replace. So I think 100%, man. I think a lot of these guys are playing for contracts, man, and especially when you're in your fourth or fifth year of your rookie contract, man. It's I just think that's a business side of it. That has nothing to do with his, with his commitment or anything. It's just the business side of it. But we'll see how that shakes out. It's going to be interesting, man, because that's a big story. We'll just say that because it's a big story because
he's making a good case.
Oh, absolutely.
Really definitely making a damn good case on why in the hell he should have been paid instead of Waller.
Yeah. You guys remember what happened when we let Marcus Allen go? Anybody remember that? That's been a Raiders fan more than a hot minute.
The Chiefs and they went to an AFC championship game.
He fucking tore us up, bro. Straight up. Marcus Allen went to the Queefs and tore us alive.
Hey, can you scroll up a bit? There was a good question by Raiders Primos that I'd actually kind of like to answer.
Which one?
But to answer your question about Josh Jacobs, yeah, man, that dude is phenomenal.
You talking about
that
the
guy
coaching?
Where he says, "Family, how we feeling about Josh McDaniels and Patrick Graham coaching?"
Yeah.
Hey, I want to go ahead and go back on everything I said, except for the fact that I really don't know what type of coach this guy is. But I can tell you what, the team looks like they're finally starting to believe in him. And man, it's nice to see that. I'm starting to see continuity in between the players and the coaches and the coaching scheme. It looks like the players are starting to get it. And Josh Jacobs, along with Josh McDaniels and Devontae Adams and Derek Carr with that flea flicker, if you're going to sit there and run trick plays, please just run that one all the time. That one seems to work. So don't go with the crazy end around wide receiver reverse passes and things like that. Just keep doing with what works. And I'm starting to see the play calling get a little bit better, as in it's getting more consistent. He really is when he says that he's looking at the plays, seeing what works and what doesn't work, and keep continuing doing what works and trashing what doesn't work. Yeah, I think we're starting to see that now. As for Patrick Graham finally looks like that this defense is starting to get it as well. And when was the last time we could honestly say that we actually have a serviceable defense and a really good offense? It's been a long time to say that we've actually had that.
And against the Chargers on Sunday, I saw man coverage in the defense. There was
Dude,
late in the game in the fourth quarter.
Tillery dropping back in coverage.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like the stunts. Now, now that's one thing I like from Patrick Graham that I see in the front seven. I love the stunts, man. I think that's creating different opportunities at the defensive line position, which is our guys getting to the quarterback, along with effort. I mean, Jerry Tillery was literally bull rushing the interior line back into Justin Herbert on Sunday. But one thing I noticed, it was like the fourth quarter. It was like in the fourth quarter, they were in a lot of man coverage in that game, man. And that's something I'll just say I really haven't seen that since Al Davis and Nnamdi Asomugha and shit like that, man. I mean, I miss that. Yeah, Stanford route. I mean, yeah, dude. So man, I mean, yeah, as far as the coaching staff, it's one of those things I'm not too high on them yet, but at the same time, I'm just stepping back and observing because, the key is once they get their system implemented, they can open it up. And that's what I'm seeing right now is they've been implementing this system as the season goes on. They got veteran players to do so. You got guys like Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, they're falling into play. They've had a chemistry since week 1, connecting on touchdowns and going back to Fresno State before that. But I see the coaching staff really with the playbook wide open, and it really showed in that Denver game. It seemed like he opened up the playbook in that Denver game. Seattle game was insane with the playbook, dude. That was a great game, man. That Seattle game was great. Last week's game was a great game, but they controlled that game. And that's what I liked about that game last week. We controlled that game in the second half.
Yeah, it looks like play calling is getting better. Like they're actually they're playing situational football. Yep. And actually using the analytics, which is actually really weird for us to say because John Gruden never used analytics.
Yeah.
He would just run whatever the fuck he wanted,
It was almost like he wanted the league to adapt to him, and they had him figured out, on a lot of things. You know what I mean? They had him figured out in the draft. It was almost like they knew like we were going to blow a draft pick. And, that won't be the case, I don't think, with this coaching staff. We're already seeing production and going down all the way down to our undrafted free agent. Like I said, Isaiah Palomalo getting that sack last week. That's huge, dude.
I was really down on that guy because, he didn't show me anything in the preseason. And I'm like, this is Troy Polamalu's nephew.
Yeah.
Like, this guy doesn't even look like he belongs up here.
It's crazy because he's 6'3", too. So, like, he's really kind of like, it's weird when you get a safety that's 6'3", he's a little oversized. He's almost like, and it's weird because they're using these hybrid linebacker styles, and shit like that. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see how he evolves, man. I've got my eyes on him. I'm interested to see, how he, especially tomorrow night, man, because, coming back to LA, that's where he played USC, not in that stadium, but at the Coliseum. And, right. So like, I'm interested to see how he performs in front of his home crowd tomorrow,
Yeah. My take on the coaching staff is essentially this. So a couple things. So first of all, like I was excited when we got McDaniels. I was upset when we lost Gruden. But Gruden's play calling was lackluster, and that's kind of the nice way that I put it. So, the positive thing when we got McDaniels going into it, I thought that Coach McDaniels was a coach where there would be second half adjustments that would be really, really good, okay? When we didn't see it, I was really pissed, because, like, it's not like this coach didn't coach for 20 years and just forgot how to make second half adjustments. Now, however, what I didn't take into account when I had that opinion was several things. One, I didn't factor in that, like, I know the offensive coordinator isn't calling the plays, it's Josh McDaniels, but I didn't factor in how many of our coaches that we have, like, aren't exactly proven coaches. A lot of them may have been good to some degree, but a lot of them were actually promoted in positions. So they're learning as we go. It doesn't mean that they can't be a great coach, and it doesn't mean that those coaches won't be great coaches or that they are or are not great coaches. There's potential, but so that was what was disappointing to me. Before I move on, let's revisit last year, okay, and years prior. So with John Gruden, if you guys remember, he always had a very well scripted playbook for the first 10 to 20 plays, 15 to 20 plays, something like that, right? A lot of times we could go down and score, but there were games where the red zone wasn't producing, to say the least, so we could get yards, we'd get close, but no cigar. Okay. That part of that could have been talent. Part of it could have been Gruden, Carr. I mean, the offensive line, make your pick. No wide receivers like Devontae Adams. But the point is that with Gruden, he had a very scripted playbook, but then the second half adjustments, it was like everything was too predictable, in my opinion. It was like there wasn't enough adjustments. And not just that, but a lot of plays. Do you guys remember how many timeouts we blew because Gruden would get the play in too late or whoever, and there'd be 10 seconds left on the clock to hike the ball, and next thing you know, Carr has to call a timeout because there just wasn't enough time after the play came in. So it
wasn't enough time to make adjustments when he needed to.
Right.
It wasn't until later on when he was finally able to start making those adjustments that we started winning.
Right. Yeah.
And the sad thing about that was because it was Gruden's playbook, but Gruden wasn't even a part of the team anymore because Bisaccia was running the damn team.
Right. But the point is like there wasn't enough time on the clock, so the plays weren't coming in quick enough. Now, if you look at this last game, most of the plays were coming in with 15 to 18 seconds left on the clock. And that gave Carr enough time to do audibles or to call in the blitzers and stuff. So that's huge to be able to call a play and then let your quarterback, if he knows the playbook, and obviously if you're going to do an audible, obviously the other guys on your team have to know the playbook as well. But if you call a play where you have enough time to make those adjustments according to what the defense is doing, then that's huge. So we've seen, I feel like these last few games where we've seen the second half adjustments, and we've seen where they're like the plays coming in and there's more time on the clock, and Carr has the ability and adaptability to make the adjustments. And we've seen production because of it. We have. I mean, me as a Carr critic, you know what I mean? Anybody that's watched this, knows that I've been critical of Derek Carr at times, but that's kind of my take is like, so going in excited about the coaching staff, mid-season really pissed, okay? And then now a little more positive. I see a lot of potential. Maybe they dumbed down the playbook. I don't know. Maybe players got bought in. I mean, part of this, honestly, I think it ties to certain players that have been released off the team. I think Jonathan Abram was one of those guys. I know I was on Raider Ben's show kind of talking about this, and not everybody agreed with me. That's fine. But, I think Jonathan Abram may have been a locker room cancer. He came to the Raiders and like going back to Hard Knocks where he's like calling out Derek Carr and how much money Derek Carr was making, saying Derek Carr should pick up the tab for the dinner or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And, talking about Derek Carr's kids are going to be set up or whatever. Like, this is when the dude was a rookie.
Yeah, he was annoying. He seemed annoying in that clip.
Right, yeah. But Derek Carr should have Derek Carr is a nice guy, but Derek Carr as a leader, he should have squashed that shit and put that motherfucker in his place right then.
True.
But the point, if you have somebody in the locker room like that, it's like, talking shit all the time. A little bit of banter that's like fun and loving is cool here and there. But if someone's like, that's like they end up being a cancer to the locker room, dude. Because like if they're
a fucking troll, I mean that shit gets
right.
Old real
they're
quick.
Always running their mouth. Yeah. You should have thrown the ball better. We lost because the quarterback. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that any of that was said.
No, the Hard Knocks gave us a little inside
he went
look
to
on
the Green Bay Packers. And he lasted for. I mean, we released him right after the trade deadline. He goes to Green Bay Packers.
What, 1 week? 1 week.
It was like 2 or 3 weeks.
I think it was like. Was he there? I thought it was like a couple days that he was there, man.
It was like 2 weeks.
He played one game and Bisaccia called his ass out.
Right.
Straight up was calling him a bum.
But the point is, there could have been locker room cancer guys that weren't bought in on the new coaching staff because Abram was a big John Gruden guy, and John Gruden's a big like alpha male kind of in your face kind of guy.
He was looking for the next Jack Tatum.
Yeah, and Gruden likes those kind of guys, and they can work. But if they're going to be, I don't know. I'm making assumptions, obviously, but there could have been some guys that weren't buying into it because, like, you got to think right around that time is when Carr.
In order to talk like that and no bullshit, in order to talk, you gotta put up on the field. Yeah, and let's just see what do we see from him. All right, besides him being reckless and running into our own teammates and giving our own teammates concussions, what did we really see out of him? Right. Yeah, he was fiery, he was tenacious, but he was stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He just got burned in coverage too much. I mean, he
in coverage.
He was good against the run sometimes, but even sometimes he would miss tackles that he should have been a tackle for loss. But, for me, it's just like, here's how I look at it. If there's certain players that weren't bought in, they got the exit route, and we've seen things just miraculously pick up once Abram was gone. And it's not, I'm not going to blame all this on him. It could be a multitude of factors. Sometimes you need a sacrificial lamb. Maybe Abram was that guy. Maybe the coach staff's like, we've got to get rid of somebody because some of these guys aren't buying into what we're trying to preach. So they pick the weakest link or whatever. So, I look at it like that. With all the things combined, I think the coaching staff is doing better, but they got a lot to prove. They got to finish this shit strong. We got to get
tomorrow night's a good one, dude. The reason why I didn't mean to cut you off, but the reason why is because John Gruden's first game back was against Sean McVay in that week 1 matchup in 2018, where they had a good scripted first half, and then the adjustments in the second half backfired on Gruden because Sean McVay we got our asses kicked. Carr threw a pick 6 to Marcus Peters in that game. So This is a redemption. Actually, this is a redemption game for Derek Carr. In my personal opinion, this Rams matchup tomorrow night is a redemption game for Derek Carr going back to week 1 in 2018. And then Josh McDaniels, we get to see how his coaching adjustments stack up. And I know they don't have this is a completely different Rams team from 2018, but at the same time, you're going to get to see these two coaches and see how McDaniels makes adjustments versus McVay, vice versa. You know, nothing like, it's not like it's anything that's spot on, but it's just something to pay attention to tomorrow is the coaching adjustments versus because Sean McVay is still there coaching in LA, and I'm shocked that they even won a damn Super Bowl, that they bought that Super Bowl, which really irritates me because the Raiders for so long were the only team in LA to win a Super Bowl.
Well, and not just that, but let's
and they
be
bought
real.
that damn Super
Let's be
Bowl.
real. The Super Bowl's in Vegas next year. I really want us to make the playoffs this year. I mean, like, I thought the Raiders were in full tank mode, and I'm not going back on what I said because I always try to be real with people. I had that opinion going back to what I said. I thought Josh McDaniels was going to be a great second half adjustment type of guy. And when we didn't see it, I'm like, there's no way this coach is this stupid. So my head is always going to run. I'm always going to run like all over the place thinking of all the scenarios. So,
well, not only that, but Raiders Primo's got a great comment in there. He says DC is 0-2 against the Rams. This going back to the 2014. That was his rookie year when they lost 52-0. I believe that was in London. That was London or St. Louis.
I forgot about that.
I can't remember. Was that an overseas game? I can't remember. Or was it in St. Louis? But I remember we got slaughtered in that game, 52-0. And then going back to the 2018, 33-13. You know, we got to get this dub, and that's what I'm saying. This is a game where Derek Carr, really wants to redeem himself, man. From a career standpoint, you want to get your first victory against these Rams, man.
Well, let's kind of get this thing wrapped up. So what do you guys think? Score predictions and MVPs or keys for the game. I'm going to go. Who am I going to go? Actually, so someone else go. Let me think about my MVP.
For tomorrow night's game?
Nate Hobbs. I'm going to pick Nate Hobbs.
Good.
He's going to get a pick six with a stumpy. He's going to get a stumpy pick six. No, maybe not a pick six, but I think Nate Hobbs will do something great. So I'm going to go with Hobbs, and I'll go 27-24. And then keys for the game, don't get beat and play till every second ticks off that fucking clock. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a winnable game, but you got to go out there. You got to play with fire, and that's it.
All righty, man. I'm saying Raider victory tomorrow night, dude. 33. We're going 33-20. Raiders win. And Derek Carr and Davante Adams, they hook up on 3 touchdowns in this game, dude. I'm going to say they get a big game tomorrow night, dude. So if you got fantasy football lined up tomorrow night, get Derek Carr. If you need a quarterback, get Derek Carr tomorrow night and get Davante. Or if you already have Davante Adams, you're stoked because they're going to connect on 3 touchdowns tomorrow night, baby. There you go. You're stoked tomorrow night. 3 touchdowns.
Even with Jalen Ramsey, you think he's going to have a big game?
It's going to be a fight, dude. You're going to see a scrap. It's going to be Charles Woodson, David Boston times 10, baby. 2022, dude. You're going to see Charles Woodson, David Boston scrap all over again. Jalen Ramsey and freaking Davante Adams. Except this time, remember, just like our boy Q said, Davante's got that crossover, dude. He's about to cross him up. Left, right, post it. He's about to post middle field, post out. Don't matter, dude. Davante Adams is getting open tomorrow night. And Derek Carr already knows because Josh McDaniels is showing him on the film. Josh McDaniels saying, dude, 10th of a second right here, and you connect with Davante Adams. He's giving him the critiquing of those type of play calling. He's going, hey, Derek, dude. You're literally 0.2 of a second away from completing a touchdown to Davante Adams. He's telling him that in his ear. So we're getting a big win tomorrow night, baby. We're getting a big win.
Oh, yeah.
We're chasing 500.
And those that are still in the chat, man, make sure you check out the videos at the end. I got some barbecue chicken. I got some LA up in there, some LA Raiders stuff up in there.
Shout out to Primos, dude. He's got great comments. I love it. I love it.
He does, man. And one thing I have been happy to see, the second thing about Derek Carr that I've been happy to see, and it's not even really on Derek Carr. It's the coaching staff letting him do what he wants to do. When he sees something, when he comes to the line, he is audibling and he's doing it quickly. And he's doing it. It's like he can see the coverage, and it's no more of this. We're good. It's like 52, 46. You know what I mean? He's calling out the blitzes right off the bat. And more often than not, it is actually working out for this team. What I'm thinking is what's going to happen for my post-game prediction. 33-10 blowout Raiders.
Nice. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Sorry, Southside's Raiders comment. Let me laugh. Hopefully no one gets thrown off a bridge at SoFi.
Dude, it's wicked at those games. Dude, if you've been to
Raiders!
Dude, all in all, growing up in Southern California, dude, I've probably been to 30 of these games, dude, over time, dude. And it's wild, bro. It is wild, dude. If you go to a San Diego Chargers, Oakland Raiders, San Diego Chargers to freaking LA Raiders or LA Raiders at the Coliseum back, it's wild, dude. Let me tell you, dude. I wish I was going, but I so much shit going on in my family right now, man. I was invited to the game. I want to be there, and I'm even working tomorrow. That sucks. But anyway, I'll be home in time for the game. You bet your ass I will be home. 3 hours prior to game time, we'll be barbecuing chicken. You know how we do it. We're continuing on.
Oh yeah, everybody in the chat. Farhan, dude, appreciate you. Raider Primos, James, Furpo, Jerry Tolley, Southside Raider. I know Nutty Raider Nate was up in here. What's up, Nutty Raider Nate? Sorry I didn't get a chance to say what's up to you earlier.
Yeah, Dirty Low was in here.
I try not to interrupt people. I know I do sometimes. I try hard not to, but and they get rambling. Robert Pina, and then
James
Omar. What's up, Omar? He was up in here. And anybody in Raider Critiques chat, man, what's up, guys? And then Raider Dave is going to be starting his channel. You still doing that at the beginning of the year?
Beginning of the year, man. I'm gonna launch it January 1st, man. So
Raider Dave had a channel.
Relaunch. My channel's just on pause. My channel's just on pause, but I'm gonna reshape it up and yeah, man, change it. Well, get it back to what it was. It was vlogging, live streams, podcast, all that stuff. But you know, I do have the what is that? It's not a GoPro, dude. It's an Osmo Pocket. It's got the gimbal, so I do take that thing, and I do got some footage in Vegas just over the last 5 years of just knowing the Raider, you know, just talking smack to locals there in Vegas, dude. And it's funny because I still go. I just went to Vegas a month ago, dude, and they still remember me and shit. And we still talk shit. You know, it's funny, man. You know, it's funny how we talk shit. But a lot more is going on in Vegas now that the NFL's there, dude. Vegas is really fun right now, man. So if you guys get out there, man, definitely live it up out there on the Strip, man. There's a lot to take advantage of out there and enjoy your time out there, man, because it's a blast, dude. I love Vegas.
Well, yeah. If you guys aren't subbed to Raider Critiques channel, where can they find Raider Critique?
Well, they can find me right here on YouTube at the Raider Critique. You're probably watching it through the stream at my channel or right here at the Hardcore Raider YouTube channel as well. You know, we do all this together, man. I got 2 shows that happened, except for this last week. With it being a short week, I did my pregame and postgame in the same video. And then, of course, I get to jump on here with my brothers and really get to cut it up and talk exactly all that shit that we want to talk. But, you know, we do it as the truth with intensity, and we don't drink the corporate Kool-Aid, baby. It's right here on the radio.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, I think we got this game. I'm not going to sit there and count my chickens before they're hatched, but something tells me that it's going to take a much better team than the 29th overall rated football team to beat this team with the way they're playing right now. And that I feel right here.
Hey, I just hope after this game, we're 6-7 and Baker Mayfield, we're going to be baking some barbecue chicken. Let's go Raiders.
Yeah. Love you guys, man. I had a blast, man. Let's go Raiders. Great takes, man. Good. Yeah, love it, dude. I'm
from the shit stains to the Panthers to the Lambs. Baker Shitfield.
Always remember, there's only one nation. That's Raider Nation. We own LA, man. Let's go Raiders.
Let's go Raiders.
For life.
For life. Let's get it.
All right. Got the outro coming up here. Barbecue chicken style. Later, all.
Later.
You run right by his ass. Scare him to death. The effort is outstanding. How about those Raiders, man? If you're late for work, if you're out of shape, you're not knowing what to do, you're gonna never, ever be able to live with yourself. So you guys got a chance to do some good things.
The Raiders have won the AFC West.
Those fans at Oakland, they're unlike any others. And I get emotional thinking about it.